Call up Chief Arlen Dumas from Matthias Cologne. He's one of the candidates running for the AMC Grand Chief position.
Come. Thank you. All good? Tanse. Nas kumuni tawi patigo tagi tom kapipigis ko yan kiwit nuog gamaga nagkutse. Or nas kunmi na igaskihta yan kos mistake mi on pagito gani kagon gi gustin gaga tagupad yan. Or nas kumaw gamagan Ogemao, agi gawit simit, utay sa kapipigis ko yan ista, igiwit tamog, ipagusiri taman kaniganis kaman AMC, agwa, psis nigi gagis kimagagon gigawit simigus uta kapi ayam yan agwa, ogemaga anak sunanas kumao chief ogemao, agwa giskiri tiniga kagadoy nagiga inidwit, so nagadasi mun, agwa. Good afternoon. My name is Chief Arlen Dumas. I'd like to give thanks for the opportunity to come and speak in front of the chiefs and the proxies. I'd like to personally thank Chief Ogemao for extending the invitation for me to come and speak to my colleagues at this table. He gave me a little bit of advice and encouraged me to be here. So I'm glad that I was able to be accommodated to come and spend a little bit of time with the leadership of the KTC region. So I didn't come here to tell you how to govern yourselves. I came here to tell you what I believe I can bring forward to our leadership in Manitoba. One of my main advisors and person that gave me guidance said that what we need to have in Manitoba is to have one voice. We need to have one central source of advocacy so that when we stand, no one can ever question what we say. And I feel that I have shown in many regards the ability that I have to speak and advocate on behalf of our communities and on behalf of our chiefs in different respects and in different opportunities and different positions. I've been asked in different times to come forward, and I am proud to say that when I was asked to do so, I did so with vigilance, with determination, and I don't compromise. One of the important things, and some of you were there when this happened, but I'll give you a very quick example. There was a meeting that I was asked to come and participate, even though I'm not a chief of the KTC region. The former Grand Chief Sinclair had asked me to come and accompany some of you to meet with some of the provincial ministers of the previous government, and we were sitting there with Minister Swan. And our colleagues presented a number of different issues. We wanted our own policing. There was all the different things that we had brought forward, our school issues, our services. And when Minister Swan responded, he said, well, I hope you people realize that if you want to have your own police force, you have to have regulations. So I interrupted him. And I said, Minister, you've been in public office for well over a decade. You're a lawyer. Your career is to speak. That's actually what you do. I said, so I'm going to tell you that just what you said, I will choose not to be offended by what you said. Of course, we understand that we have to have regulation. Of course, we understand that we have to meet limits, But you infer that we don't. I said, in fact, our expectations always exceed provincial and federal regulations. And then he started to squirm in his chair, and he tried to interrupt me, and I said, no, I let you talk already. I let you speak. Now you're going to listen to me. And I really let him have it because I thought that was a very disrespectful way for somebody to respond to chiefs from our north who are coming forward in a good way to find a constructive way to do things. And so after I embarrassed him and made him feel really uncomfortable, he apologized, and he apologized to all of the chiefs, and that's not what I meant. I said, well, that's not what you meant, but that's what you said. You need to be careful of the words you use and how you speak to people. I'm not intimidated by anybody. I'm not intimidated by the government. And I'm never afraid to speak when I'm asked. Recently, I was asked by our colleagues to chastise the Minister of Indian Affairs at our last TLE event that we had in Ottawa. And I did so. And I didn't fear reprisal, and I didn't fear repercussions, because she needed to hear the truth of how negligent her staff is, and that at the end of the day, if she doesn't hold her staff accountable, it falls upon her. And she needed to be held responsible for her actions and her inactions. But I did so willingly because my colleagues had asked me. Some of you that sit around this table asked me to do that, and I did it. Because I feel that that is one of my strengths. I was blessed to be able to speak strongly and passionately about issues. So right from a young age, I've been groomed to be where I am today. I am grateful for my grandfather and my grandmother and all of my community members who would always groomed me and ensured me to be where I am today, and I'm thankful for that. And I feel that in order for me to truly affect change where it needs to be affected, I can do that by being the Grand Chief of the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs. I was also asked to be one of the chiefs for the Joint Committee for to re-evaluate the Mines and Mineral Act that predates the majority of legislation that's in Manitoba. But because of the stance and the position that I took, that I wouldn't relinquish our authority, that I wouldn't compromise on our rights, and to make sure that people dealt with us in a meaningful way, the previous government stopped having that conversation, and they didn't want to listen to me because they wanted me to compromise, and I wouldn't do that. So time and time again, I've been asked to speak on behalf of our chiefs in different regards, and I've always done that, and I will continue to do that. And I take a look back into my community. The only election promise that I had ever given was that I would get us out of co-management, and I was able to do that. And from doing that, I was able to put myself in a position of strength and a position of authority to start making demands on the different governments to work with us in a meaningful way. So I feel that I can do that as the Grand Chief for the Assembly. And what I would like to see for our Assembly, and to go back to the words of one of my advisors who said we have to speak with one voice. I had met an old man. His name was Toba Sonakwit. He passed away a few years back. Some of you may have known him. And when I first met him, I'd become a new chief. And he said, I was young like you when I became chief, but I was chief in Ontario. And he said, whenever there was a big issue, whenever there was something that had happened, there was a big issue. You know what we used to do in Lake of the Woods, Ontario? I said, I don't know. What did you do? He said, we would say, let's wait, see what Manitoba does. And whatever Manitoba does, we're going to follow them. And there's truth to that. My grandfather, my great uncles who were part of the Manitoba Indian Brotherhood, the strong advocates that came from the north, people like Joe Guy Wood and those type of people, those strong advocates that forced and created different entities to help us advocate on what we need to do, it came from Manitoba. And that's what we need again. Some of you that were with me when we were standing out in the cold, when we were asked to go help Chief Spence from Ontario, from Attawapiskat, come home, we were there standing in the cold advocating and pushing the government. Again, there was an example where I was asked to facilitate and to speak on behalf of our chiefs I'm proud to say at that time we had built consensus amongst the Manitoba chiefs, and we had facilitated how the discussions would go when we walked into the big room where everybody else was talking. It was Manitoba that led that mandate, that led that day that we marched in front of 3,000 people. It was Manitoba chiefs that demanded that Chief Spence be her issues be addressed, and that our advocates would do what it was that we asked them to do. So, chiefs, my colleagues, I truly believe that I would be a great Grand Chief. I would do an excellent job. I would ensure that our organizations would play their part and play their role so that they could enhance what we need to do as chiefs in our communities. And I would ensure that there was a consolidation of our authority, and I would ensure that people were held to be accountable for what it is they need to do for us as chiefs. Some of you that have sat around the table with me since I first got elected, you will remember me asking at every single gathering that we've gone to about child and family. What it is I've asked every single one of our organizations to do a chronology of CFS in the province of Manitoba so that we could be reminded of what it is we are supposed to be doing, so that we could ensure that the governments play their part and that we play our part and our organizations play the role that they're supposed to play. But for whatever reason, our PTOs that are not in co-management, that are not having to worry about the poverty that we have to worry about in our communities, are not playing their role. And we need to make sure that they do that so that we can enhance what the chiefs can do for their people, and we can enhance what we can do for ourselves. So that is why I strongly believe that I would be a great advocate on behalf of the chiefs. I would make a plan and insist that we move forward in a way where that we can move with one voice, where we could move with one message, and ensure that all of our interests are looked after in the best possible way. The last thing that I wanted to mention was one of the things that I had done on behalf of the KTC chiefs was advocate on the aggregation of your schools. Some of you that are getting schools, I was fortunate to be a part of that advocacy, because at the time the Department of Indian Affairs was starting to back away. And again, one of our former chiefs, he's not a chief at the moment, but he'll be back. He had asked me to come to that meeting, and I had done so, and I had advocated, and we'd done good work through MKO to advocate to make sure that those schools were built for your communities. So those are a few things that I was asked to do over the years. I've been a chief since 2008, and I feel that I could bring my skills, my practical assets that I have, to bring them forward, the deliverable results that I have shown, that each and every one of you have seen me do in different respects, and I would bring that to the table, and we would move forward and build a united Manitoba again with one voice. So, to all of you who have asked me over the years to speak on your behalf, to take different opportunities to advocate on behalf of Manitoba, and I did so willingly every time. Now, I return that request, and I ask you, each and every one of you, to think about what you've seen me do over the years and what you've seen me achieve and how you've seen me speak and conduct myself. And I ask you to give me your blessing and your support so that I could be the next Chief of the Assembly of Manitoba. So we go say, kinanas kumit na, kamam tunidi tamigo didi tamig, tansimuit se anutsagi at sumustahtaga, kinanas kumit na, you go say.